Good morning. Reuters reports this morning that there's breathable air on Mars. Their report, however, is misleading since the robot probe took the measurements, then had beans for dinner and farted. U.S. indices yesterday took back most of their losses from the previous sessions on mainly better than expected quarterly reports. We'll have more on that later. Mortgage applications last week were up by 8.6%, following the previous week's 3% contraction as the 30-year rate falls 7 ticks to 3.2%. That's mortgage rates, right? The Canadian dollar is down this morning after disappointingly flat CPIs for March. The Bank of Canada kept interest rates, citing improving conditions. While the U.S. is beginning to show some muscle in Europe, the Senate yesterday approved a $300 million military aid bill to the Ukraine, and Biden just may consider calling the Armenian genocide a genocide. Meanwhile, Italy is earmarking €250 billion for infrastructure and green projects to prod along recovery. European equities were cautiously up yesterday following Tuesday's bloodbath, and futures are hinting at a green opening today as well. The DAX just could break to the upside today. We seem to have a lot of signs for it, despite that spinning top at the end. That strangely corresponds to an end-of-day spike in positive volume. That means lots of people in there, none of them knowing what to do. The MACD managed to cross above its signal, and the RSI shows lots of room for improvement. All we got to do is cross that resistance at 15,254, which incidentally is where the moving average is at. Coincidence? We don't think so. Moving to Asia, we begin by commemorating the largest one-day COVID surge in the pandemic's history. India, 314,835 cases in a single 24-hour period. The Nifty is down 0.25%, and the Sensex down 0.5%. Continuing to play the contrarian, Chinese benchmarks are mixed this morning. Shenzhen up a point, Shanghai down 1/5. The Nikkei is shining with a 2% plus rise alongside a strengthening yen. And all this is Japan faces a third pandemic lockdown. The yuan continues struggling towards its January 30th high of 155.57 to the dollar as U.S. bond yields ease downward. The Australian National Bank added 2 points to its business confidence index. Australian Foreign Minister Marise Payne yesterday said her nation is cancelling its deals with China regarding its Belt and Road Initiative. Just another thorn in the continuing spat the two nations seems to be having. Lean hogs beat ethanol by a nose this morning in drawing our attention. Seems today's loss is simply profit taking in the midst of a healthy climb, actually. Oil continues down after last night's EIA report confirmed the API's 500,000 barrel stock rise. Today should confirm whether Bitcoin is triple bottoming or just may break support to the downside. We have a wedge developing towards 54K, with volumes falling off as traders await the next reason to go haywire. Moving average is by now consistently bearish, and the RSI just south of neutral. Gold, on the other hand, is settling back a bit this morning as its latest 9-day uptrend develops. It's been Fibonacci retracements all the way, and the RSI seems to be bouncing back from, well, just overbought. Volumes are negative at the moment, and this 1770, 1790 thing could become a range. Then again, we have a lot of data coming in from the U.S. today. Jobless claims at noon, home sales at 2, and some bond auctions at 3:30 GMT, so be alert. In corporate news, the U.S. Senate is asking Apple and Google to comment on whether they think their application stores are market abusive. They should try and get one calendar installed from the Microsoft store. Chevron has signed an agreement with Toyota to explore hydrogen technology, and Halliburton revealed yesterday a 19-cent EPS for Q1. That is after previous quarter's 27-cent loss. In other earnings, Netflix surprised to the upside with revenues of $7.16 billion and Verizon with 32.9. As we can see, the drop-off in new consumers seems to have hit Netflix harder than their reports. Credit Suisse, which took a $4.7 billion hit from the Archegos hedge fund meltdown, will be reporting today alongside Nestle, Intel, and ATT. Intel seems to be licensing out productions, selling its flash memory business, and in general, expecting a better quarter, but it's not because of trying. Xeon processors have been selling nicely thanks to remote work, and Mobileye is gaining traction, but shares will basically not be moving on results, but rather oncoming projections. That's it for today. Tomorrow's Friday, so there's no words of wisdom to sign off with. Just have fun.